on a lot of rain last night, probably about 30 mil. I'll check what Daddy poured the meter out this morning. We've got one cow to come in. The vet's coming tomorrow this morning to check if she's in calf, so we can get to the bottom of that. So we're going to head out now, try and bring her in. Got a wee party of cows following me this morning. Morning, Holly! So I'm just in the field of rape at the moment. Big breakdown. That's it. What? That's the drill working there. So we need to get her out this gate and in that gate. So we'll just set up a perimeter of gates. I'll head into there and hopefully she won't be bothered by this water, because that's what we might be worried about. She might just get to that edge and say nope, not going any further. Promising start. They've all headed over to this corner, so it makes it a bit easier. Blue's back in our box.
Come on, shh. On you go. Shh. Shh. Shh.
Go on, go on. Slowly walking in. Come on, come on. That's all the cows in here. So one of these cows, she's over there in the distance. That one I'm pointing at just now. She's getting checked to see whether she is pregnant, because the rest have all had their calves and she's been taking a while. So the vet's coming in about an hour and a bit. But we've to swing a couple of these calves round. Just want to check they've been castrated and dehorned. The ones we bought last weekend. So we knew we were all bringing them in today. So we'll check them now while we wait for the vet to come for the check the pregnancy on that other cow. So I've got these three segments, 1, 2, 3. The bulk of them are all in here and here. So I've just been shifting them back and forward and kind of taking off the ones I want. So I want all these in here, and then I can run them through the race, get them in a headstock and control them. So that's why I put all these on this side, and the rest are all just waiting. And then once we're all done with them all, they can head back out to the field. The one that's pregnant is still in there just now, and we'll deal with these first. Dunk's tipping off some old fert bags so we can get a big pile here to take in to be recycled. So split off the calves I was wanting to have a look at, check what their kind of horns are like, because we dehorn all the calves and these ones have not been dehorned, so they'll be a bit further on. So the vet's on the way out today just to check the cow, if it's what its pregnancy is like, if it's still in calf or what the deal is. So I'll just ask her at the time whether it's okay to still use the paste at this stage. So we use a paste which burns the horns off. So I've split off the calves I was wanting to have a look at, check their kind of horn status and castration status. So we dehorn all the calves here with a paste which kind of just burns the knob a wee bit, then the horns don't grow. And castration, we do it kind of within the first week and we band them. So we put a band round about it, cuts off the blood supply. But these ones we bought, so we didn't really know what the deal was with them, so I was just checking them over. So none of them have been castrated or dehorned. So the vet's coming out to see that cow about its pregnancy status. If it's not okay to dehorn them at this age with the paste, then she'll dehorn them. If not, we'll just go and do them all with the paste. I think you're meant to do it quite early on. Just going around feeding the animals till the vet comes. Percy's munching. Lulu's sitting in the box again. Just need to go to the sheep and the Highlanders. Dad's somehow managed to get these Highlanders in, so I'm going to quickly try and load them before the vet comes. Still need to get them in the trailer. This was possibly the easy bit. Went pretty smoothly in the trailer. Yeah, I'll get it. We were pretty convinced there was no chance we were getting them by today when the vet was coming, but just a bit of luck, I think. So these are all in for a blood test to get BVD tested. And then will be a negative accredited herd if these three come back negative. So these are, how old are these be coming up probably about a year old now, Highlanders. They take a long time to grow, Highlanders. Anyway, we're ready for the vet, more ready than I thought we were. We've got the calves in to check their horns, we've got that cow in to check that they've been pregnant, and we've got these 3 Highlanders to get a blood test for a BVD. Bit of bad news in the kind of cereal industry in the moment in Scotland. A big grain merchant has gone bust. So grain merchant, basically they buy up all the supply from small farms and then they push the product then to the likes of, if it's for whiskey production, the likes of Diageo, they'll take in loads of product. So they're just kind of a middleman. But one of them's gone bust, and it's quite a big one. And what would happen is kind of people who maybe sold their grain to them in February, March, April would not have been paid for that yet, and they've gone bust and they're not going to get paid for them. They'll possibly a few years down the line get kind of pennies on the pound for the product, but it's not nearly what they were expecting, and no one was expecting, I don't think. So it's been a bit of a sore one. We've been very, very lucky. We've not had any product sold to them that we don't that we've not been paid for. We did sell some in January, but we've been paid for it, thankfully. I was talking to Dad, asking how do you avoid that in the future? How do you kind of, can you insure against it? Can you do this, that and the other? And he basically just said you need to try and sell little and often to various buyers. So if you do get hit by something like that, it's a fraction of your total sales for the year, so it's a much smaller hit. I'll take this in as a learning curve now. Luckily we didn't get hit, but that's kind of taught a lesson, how to sell your grain, how to spread whatever you're selling. Don't chuck all your eggs in the one basket. So see where it goes from here. There should be other merchants that'll take up the slack. Still just waiting on the vet at the moment. Dad found the receipt for this, the invoice for this race. It was built in the 60s and it cost 500 quid. Nowadays you'd just about pay 500 quid for one of these single gates. This whole thing, 500 quid, built in the 60s. It's done pretty well, to be fair. It's pretty bomb proof, there's nothing broken on it. It's not the slickest of operations, it's dated, but does the job still. All the ladies there and it's prowling. Today's question of the day on the race: what are these angles of metal for? So these have all been dealt with. The cow is still in calf, just taking ages. The calves have all been dehorned and one of them was still to be castrated. So they can all head back out, then we'll take the Highlanders in the trailer, put them in, blood sample them. So that's the Highlanders in and blood tested. So she took a blood test off the bottom side of the tail, just right on the tailbone there. So lift up the tail, take a wee sample out the back. Did that for each of them. The sample will get sent away and it's Monday today, should be ready to go by Wednesday and we'll be all clear. Anyway, right, load these up, take them back. A lot easier than we thought. And that's us. Job done. We're needing to get that done. So should be us BVD clear now on the farm. Tidying up all the gates. Race is closed, the 60-year-old race doing its job. Quite happy about the cow still being in calf. I didn't think it was, to be honest. It's been quite a while. It came with another batch of 2 and they both calved quite earlier on, so I thought that cow would calve at the same time, but it's just taken ages. Don't know why, but the vet said doesn't look like it'll be long, so I'd rather it was in calf than not in calf, so fine. The average for May rainfall in Perth is 51mm, and between yesterday midday and this morning we have had about 20 to 25, so that's half of the rainfall of the month in the last 16 hours. We've built a wee hot tub for the farm. There you go. Two actually. Now these are the footings for the shed, so what should be in those holes is that, but they're just swimming in water, so a bit annoying at the moment. Everything's soaking, can't do a lot, can't make any progress with anything on a farm when it's soaking, other than winter jobs fixing things. Yeah. So this wood is just a template for these studs. They sit at least a foot down into the concrete, and they've got a big metal washer on the base so that you connect your uprights of the shed onto these bolts, and as you crank them down, the plate on the base, which is buried in below the concrete, grips onto the concrete, and then this whole base is then connected to the bottom of your pillars, and you do that all the way along all your footings on every side, and you get a sturdy base. Ian's in at his dozer. There's been a few more loads tipped here, so he's leveling them off. There's quite a lot of water on it this morning, so he's kind of semi-drained that off and a nice new flat surface on it. Update, forgot my waterproofs. I was filling in spray records for the last few hours, so I have to keep up to date with all the records, and we're trying to move them all onto an app-based system. So I've just been plugging in numbers and figures all afternoon, a bit bored. Anyway, down here the container, just mounted up. These mounts, the top mounts, so you can take the two actuators at a time. All I've left to do is weld two more of these tabs here and two at that side, and then I can fit up all the actuators and paint this all, fill this all, and then this door will be finished. Yesterday's question of the day: how long is a sow pregnant for? 3 months, 3 weeks, 3 days. So it's thereabouts. There's plus or minus 3 or 4 days as well, but that's how it's remembered.